Hello, today we're going to read a book called Schmequal. It's called A Math Adventure by Virginia Kroll, and it's illustrated by Philomena O'Neill. A little brown mouse sat under a leaf watching a school picnic. The 5 children finished eating and began to play. Some played tag. Some chose teams for a game. 2 sides have to be equal, one of them shouted. Are the kids playing? The children pulled on the ends of the rope. One team was pulled over the line. The other team cheered, "Hooray, we won!" Then one of the teachers called to the children. They all got into a big yellow bus that drove off down the road. All was quiet. That looked like fun. "Hey, Bear," called Mouse. "Come out and play." Bear walked out from the trees. "What do you want to play?" "It's a game," squeaked Mouse. "You take one end of the rope and I take the other. We both pull to see who wins." Who do you think's going to win? If it's this little mouse pulling one side and this big bear pulling the other side? It doesn't look very equal to me. Bear gave the rope a mighty yank. Mouse flew across the field. She landed on the ground with a thump. "Hey," said Bear, "where'd you go?" "No fair," squealed Mouse. She picked herself up. "I forgot that the teams have to be equal." "Equal, Schmequal," said the bear. Suddenly, sharp claws grabbed the mouse. It was Bobcat. "Gotcha," he snarled. "Help," squealed the mouse. Bear stood up on his hind legs and growled, "Let Mouse go right now." Bobcat whimpered, "I just want to join the game. See, Wolf's right here. He wants to play too." Wolf stepped out in the open. Mouse brushed off her fur. She said in her bravest voice, "Of course you guys can play. Everyone can play as long as the teams are equal." "Equal, Schmequal," said the bear. He reached into one of the trash cans and pulled out a half-eaten sandwich. Rabbit hopped into the field. "Can we play too?" Rabbit asked. Box Turtle plodded close by. "What does equal mean, anyway?" he asked. What does equal mean? "Equal means fair," explained Mouse. "We should divide into 2 teams somehow, 2 equal teams." "Equal, Schmequal," mumbled Bear, with a mouthful of chocolate cake. "Let's try meat eaters against plant eaters," said Rabbit. "That would be fair." "What about Turtle and me?" asked Mouse. "We eat anything that's small enough." "Well," said Rabbit, "what are your favorite foods?" Mouse replied, "I like blackberries best." "Well, I eat mostly bugs," said Turtle, "but my favorite food is dandelions." "If you like plants best, then you belong on my team," said Rabbit. "So it's animals that eat only meat versus the rest of us." Bobcat laughed. "You think this is equal? Ha!" With just one pull, he and Wolf yanked Mouse, Rabbit, and Turtle across the line. They landed in a heap. "That wasn't equal," Turtle complained, peeking from his shell. Bobcat said, "Everyone with fur, go to one side. Everyone without fur, go to the other side." But that left only Turtle on one team. That wouldn't be equal. "Does anyone know what halves are?" asked Rabbit. "I've heard farmers talking about halves." "Halves are when you make 2 groups with the same number," Mouse said. "We can't make halves because there's 5 of us." Just then, Mouse saw hooves behind the bush. "Hey," she said, "maybe Deer wants to play. Then we can make halves." Deer slowly stepped out of the woods. "It looks like fun," she said, "but I want to keep an eye on Wolf and Bobcat. I'll pull from behind them." The animals lined up, 3 on one side, 3 on the other. They pulled, but once again, Mouse, Rabbit, and Turtle were dragged easily over the line. "No fair," complained Rabbit. "They're all big and we're all small, so it isn't equal." "You're right," said Mouse. "The numbers are equal, but it doesn't make the teams equal." "Equal, Schmequal," Bear exclaimed, finishing off a piece of pizza. The animals scowled at each other. Everyone began talking at the same time. It's no fair. You're so much bigger. You're just mad because you lost. You don't care if the teams are equal as long as you win. Mouse sat by herself and tried to think of a new idea. She tapped her tiny foot and twirled her wiry whisker. Listen, said Mouse. Listen up, she said louder. I have an idea. The animals stopped fighting. Well, asked Bobcat, what's your great idea? I thought instead of equal numbers, she explained, our teams could have equal weights. We could use a seesaw to figure it out. So there's Mouse and the seesaw, and she's saying they can get on the seesaw to figure out who weighs the same. Mouse is pretty smart. Look, said Mouse, when what's on one side of the seesaw is equal to the other side, the seesaw balances. You can tell because it's straight across. Okay, said Turtle, let me go on first, since I can't jump. He walked to the end of the seesaw, touching the ground. I'll get on the other side, said Wolf. Wolf jumped into the center of the seesaw and made his way to the end. Turtle was lifted high into the air. He looked down the long way to the ground and tried not to get scared. So I can see that Wolf weighs a lot more than Turtle. Deer got up on Turtle's side. Their side sank down and Wolf rose up in the air. I'm next, shouted Bobcat. He got onto Wolf's side, but Wolf and Bobcat together were still up in the air. With a mighty hop, Rabbit landed in front of Bobcat. Now the seesaw was almost balanced. Come on, shouted Rabbit. You're the last one, Mouse. Mouse scampered next to Deer. The seesaw teetered back and forth before resting perfectly straight across. The teams were balanced. We did it! We're equal, squeaked Mouse. Then Bear looked up from his crumbs, ran over roaring, Wait for me! He jumped on and down went his side, and the seesaw went up with a bump. Deer, Mouse, and Turtle went flying into the air. Whoops, said Bear. I guess it's not equal anymore. We can get this right, Mouse said cheerfully. Let's try again. Bear, you get on first. Bear sat on one end with the other end high in the air. Bobcat offered to get on the high side first. If I fall, I'll land on my feet. Cats always do. The rest of the animals got on. Each one made Bear's side lift just a little. Finally, all the animals are on except for Mouse. Come on, shouted Rabbit. We're almost equal. Mouse jumped to the middle of the seesaw. Bear's side was higher, so she walked towards him. And the seesaw was perfectly balanced. So only Bear and Mouse are on one side, and on the other side are Turtle, Deer, Rabbit, Bobcat, and Wolf. They jumped off one by one and picked up the rope. Bear and Mouse were on one side of the line, and all the other animals were on the other. Okay, said Mouse. Now the teams have equal weight. Whichever team pulls across Whichever team pulls the other across the line wins. Bear and Mouse pulled. Turtle, Rabbit, Bobcat, Wolf, and Deer pulled back. I'm bigger than all of you, said Bear. I'll win. Come on, said Rabbit to her teammates. There are more of us. Pull harder. They pulled and tugged, but neither team moved an inch. What if no one can win, said Rabbit. Suddenly, they heard a loud buzzing overhead. Bees, shouted Bear. There must be honey nearby. He took one paw off the rope to point at the swarm of bees. Just then, the other team gave a mighty pull and Bear stepped over the line. Hooray, said Rabbit. We won, we won. But the teams were equal, said Deer. How did we win? What really matters is equal effort, said Mouse. When we all pulled our hardest, the effort was equal. That's why no one would win. But when Bear saw the bees, he forgot to pull. His effort wasn't equal anymore. Sometimes I get distracted like that. Equal Schmequal, said Bear. I want some honey. Moose laughed. Time for a honey break. Oh, not moose. Mouse. Mouse laughed. Time for a honey break, she said. The animals followed the bees to their hive in the tree. There was more than enough honey for everyone. They shared it equally. That's a cute story, isn't it? At the end, the authors put a little note about what it means to be equal. In math, to be equal means to have parts that are the same weight, size, quantity, or other measure. In art, equal could mean symmetrical. That means it's the same on both sides. It means if you draw a line through the middle of a picture, one half will look exactly like the other half. In the law, equal means having the same opportunities, rights, and privileges. And in team sports, the teams have equal numbers. All players must give their best effort in order to have the best chance of winning. I hope you enjoyed reading Equal Schmequal with me, and I hope you have a wonderful day today.